Welcome back to Stories Aloud, where we bring the world's most powerful stories to life. Today we dive into The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, a story that will stay with you long after it ends. It's about two boys, Amir and Hassan, bound by friendship and torn apart by betrayal, a story of guilt that lingers and redemption that heals.
It really is a powerful one. We've looked at quite a bit of analysis on this book, haven't we? And what we really want to explore today is, well, it's those core ideas, how this unatoned sin shapes Amir's entire life.
Right, and the impact of history, too, on, personal lives. And ultimately, can someone really find redemption after something like that?
That's the big question. And the story kicks off in December 2001. Amir's in San Francisco. He's an adult.
Yeah, but he's immediately pulled back. He remembers the specific moment from 1975. He says, "I became what I am today at the age of 12. It's stark."
It really is. And he talks about the past, how it claws its way out. It's not something buried and gone. It's active.
And what brings it back isn't just memory, is it? It's a phone call.
Exactly. A call from Rahim Khan back in Pakistan. That's the trigger. That and seeing kites flying in California.
Kites, the central image. It snaps him right back to Kabul decades earlier.
And you immediately hear Hassan's voice in his memory, that line. For you, 1,000 times over. Loyalty, right from the start.
So let's go back there to Kabul in the 70s. Let's talk about Amir and Hassan.
Okay, so Amir's our narrator. He's Pashtun from a well-off family, privileged.
And Hassan is his childhood companion, but also the son of his father's servant. He's Hazara.
And they're incredibly close as kids. They learned to crawl together, as the book says, shared everything.
But there's always that social divide. Amir admits, he sometimes struggled to fully see Hassan as an equal friend in the way society understood it.
And that struggle is key, because that Pashtun-Hazara divide wasn't just about money or class. It was deeply ingrained prejudice, historical.
Yeah, the book makes that clear. For Hassan, being Hazara meant certain things were just off limits, like education. Literacy wasn't really considered for him.
He was expected to be a servant, like his father Ali. It makes their private bond, quite special.
Like those moments at the pomegranate tree, Amir reading to Hassan.
Yeah, Hassan loved hearing the stories. Rumi, Westerns, even though he couldn't read himself. And Amir carved their names there. Amir and Hassan, the sultans of Kabul. A little world they created.
A world away from the social realities. But those realities are always there, aren't they? Looming in the background.
Absolutely. And looming over everything is Amir's father.
Bo Baba. Tufanaga, Mr. Hurricane. What a character.
Larger than life, successful, respected, built orphanages, but also quite defiant. He clashed with the religious authorities.
Yeah, he had that very specific moral code. He famously says the only real sin is theft. Everything else stems from that.
Right, which is, well, it's a powerful statement, but also a massive simplification, isn't it?
It really is. How does that shape Amir, if theft is the only sin?
Well, it creates this immense pressure, I think, and maybe a blind spot. What about betrayal, cowardice? Baba's own life, we find out, holds a huge hidden theft, the theft of truth.
So he doesn't really equip Amir with a nuanced understanding of morality, maybe? It's all black and white courage versus theft.
Possibly. And that might contribute to Amir's later failure, his inability to act. But we also see Baba's hidden kindness towards Hassan.
The hair lip surgery, that's a huge detail. Hiring a top surgeon from India, Dr. Kumar.
Exactly. That's a massive gesture for a servant's son. It suggests something deeper.
Like the connection between Baba and Ali, Hassan's father.
Precisely. Ali calls himself the poor laborer to Baba's architect of the mischief from their youth. They were nursed by the same woman, just like Amir and Hassan.
So the son's relationship sort of echoes the father's. Close, but unequal, and shadowed by secrets.
Yeah, it's a tragic parallel, a pattern repeating itself.
And that pattern breaks, or rather shatters, in the winter of 1975.
Ah, yes. After the kite tournament, Amir finally wins, gets that validation from Baba he craved.
Yeah.
But
then comes the blue kite. Hassan runs to get it for Amir, shouting that famous line again.
And he runs into Asif and his friends in that alley. This is the moment Amir refers to back in 2001. The frigid, overcast day.
He sees it happen from behind a wall. He sees the kite, sees Hassan's pants on the ground. It's brutal.
It's the turning point, the unatoned sin. His victory becomes instantly tied to this horrific act of betrayal.
And the worst part for him, the thing that becomes his curse, is his own reaction.
His inaction, he runs. He chooses not to intervene.
And the realization hits him, I was going to get away with it. That's the core of the guilt, isn't it? That he could get away with it.
Yes. He tries later, doesn't he, to confess. He mutters it into the air. I watched Hassan get raped, hoping anyone would hear, but no one does.
It's a complete betrayal of everything Baba stood for: courage, standing up for what's right, and it's a theft, isn't it? He steals Hassan's dignity, then the truth.
Definitely. And shortly after this personal catastrophe, the political world explodes too. The Soviets invade in '79.
The Shirawi. And that forces them out. Baba and Amir become refugees.
They end up in Fremont, California. And for Amir, America becomes, well, he calls it a place to bury my memories.
A chance to escape the past, or try to, at least.
But for Baba, it's the opposite. It's a torture. He was Mr. Hurricane in Kabul, respected, powerful.
And in America, he works at a gas station, drives an old bus, the indignity eats away at him.
You see his pride flare up, like when he refuses food stamps. I don't like it free money, he tells Mrs. Dobbins. He just can't handle the loss of status, the lack of history, maybe.
It's a real culture shock. But for Amir, this exile is, in a strange way, liberating.
I think so. Baba's struggling, missing the old ways. But Amir, he starts to find his own path. He goes to college, studies English, starts writing.
Against Baba's likely wishes for something more practical, right?
Probably. But America gives him that space. Physical distance from Kabul, even if the guilt follows him everywhere. It lets him start building his own life, separate from Baba's shadow.
And part of that new life is meeting Soraya Taheri.
Right, at the San Jose flea market. Another Afghan immigrant, daughter of a respected general.
Their relationship is interesting, especially with the cultural pressures. Amir is very aware of Nang and Namu's honor and reputation.
Yes, particularly for women in their community.
Yeah.
Which makes Soraya's honesty before they marry so striking.
She reveals something from her past, doesn't she? A past relationship that broke the rules.
She does. She confesses this violation of her honor. It's incredibly brave, a real defiance of the expectation of silence.
Quite the contrast to Amir, who's buried his secret for years.
Exactly. She chooses disclosure while he chose concealment. It sets up an interesting dynamic in their marriage.
But there's a sadness there, too. They want children, but they struggle with infertility.
Unexplained infertility, the doctors call it, which is deeply ironic, isn't it? Given Amir's need for redemption, for maybe passing on a better legacy, he can't have the heir Baba probably always envisioned.
It sort of forces him to find redemption another way. And that way comes knocking, doesn't it?
With that phone call from Pakistan, Rahim Khan.
And those words. Chills. Come, there is a way to be good again.
It's the call to adventure, the call to finally face the past. But then Rahim Khan drops another bombshell.
This is huge. He tells Amir he knew all along.
I had always known, he says, about the alley, about Amir framing Hassan with the watch and money later. He knew.
Wow, how does that change things, knowing someone else carried that secret too?
It completely reframes Amir's guilt, I think. He wasn't totally alone in his knowledge. Rahim Khan's silence becomes this shared burden, and it gives Rahim Khan the moral weight, the authority, to demand Amir return.
To demand he goes back to Afghanistan to finally atone.
And when Amir does return, the Afghanistan he finds is devastating.
He barely recognizes it. Rubble and beggars. He feels like a tourist in my own country.
That's under Taliban control. Brutal.
Rahim Khan himself has a scar from being beaten at a soccer game in '98.
And they talk about that horrific scene at Ghazi Stadium, the public execution, the woman's scream. It's a nightmare landscape. It really is. A stark contrast to the vibrant, if flawed, Kabul of his memories. And it's into this world he has to go to find Hassan's son.
Sorab. And the twist. Oh, the twist is just awful.
He finds out Sorab is alive, but he's been taken by the Taliban. And not just any Taliban.
It's Asif, the boy from the alley, now a powerful, sadistic official.
The past literally comes back to confront him, embodied in SF, and the confrontation is violent.
Asif beats Amir severely, broken ribs, punctured lung.
And the injury that resonates the most, his lip is split. The doctor says it's cut clean down the middle, like a hair lip.
Just like Hassan's.
Exactly. It's incredibly symbolic. The physical mark of Hassan's otherness, his vulnerability, is now imprinted on Amir.
He's literally bearing the scar of the boy he betrayed. It's like the physical manifestation of his guilt and maybe the start of his penance.
I think that's a powerful way to see it. He's finally physically connected to Hassan's suffering in a way he wasn't before. He didn't just witness it, he's feeling a form of it himself.
So after this brutal encounter, Asif is dealt with, and Amir takes responsibility for Sohrab.
Yes, and he learns the final secret, that Hassan was Baba's son too, making Sohrab his half-nephew.
Wow. So the connection was even deeper than he knew.
Much deeper. And he tries to connect with Sohrab, this traumatized little boy. He tries playing cards, panch-par, like he and Hassan used to.
He even tells him, your father and I were nursed by the same woman, trying to bridge that gap.
But the trauma Sohrab endured with Asif and the Taliban, it's profound. The boy is mostly silent, shut down.
And getting him out of Afghanistan, bringing him to America, it's not easy, is it? There are legal hurdles, adoption problems.
Right, and the fear of being sent back to an orphanage is terrifying for Sohrab. It leads to that heart-building moment, his suicide attempt.
It's just devastating. The book really doesn't offer easy answers or quick healing.
No, it doesn't. The ending isn't this perfectly happy resolution. It's messy, uncertain.
Like that Afghan saying Rahim Khan mentions, Zindagi Migzara.
Life goes on, unmindful of neat beginnings or endings, crisis or catharsis. It just goes on.
So success, kamyab, or failure, nakam, where does it land?
Somewhere in between, I think.
Yeah.
Sohrab makes it to America with Amir and Suraya, but he's still deeply withdrawn, scarred.
The healing isn't complete. Not even close, maybe.
Not even close. But there's a glimmer, a tiny step. Comes back to the kites, doesn't it?
In the park in California, Amir is flying a kite, and Sohrab is watching.
And Amir runs the kite for him, just like Hassan used to run kites for Amir. He says the words, "for you," 1,000 times over.
Reclaiming that phrase, that act, from the shadow of the past.
And Sohrab gives this tiny hint of a smile. It's not much, but it's something. A flicker of connection.
Yeah.
Start.
A very small step towards maybe being good again.
Exactly. And it connects back to Rahim Khan's letter, doesn't it? The final message.
Forgiveness, especially forgiving yourself. That's the hardest part, maybe.
It takes immense courage, Rahim Khan implies. Courage to face the past, take responsibility, and try to move forward, even if things aren't perfect, even if the scars remain.
The Kite Runner reminds us that it's never too late to be good again. That forgiveness, whether from others or ourselves, takes courage. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to Stories Aloud for more stories that echo long after the last word. Until next time, keep listening.